up your own seats.
It's okay. So, welcome everybody to church this morning. How are you doing? This Sunday is a special Sunday because Tabby will be holding a workshop later on about dating and marriage from a Christian's perspective. But before that, we'll have a moment of worship. So please stand and say hi to the person next to you.
Hi.
Hello.
Please stand, please stand.
Yes. Hello. Who's standing? Hello. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, and I'm
Someone
not
to pass the PowerPoint. So, okay, can you, next slide please? Okay, so today's call to worship scripture is taken from Psalms chapter 24, verse 4. So let's read it out together. 1, 2, 3. One thing I ask from the Lord, this only do I seek, the house of the Lord, all the days of my life, to gaze on the beauty of the Lord and to seek him in his temple. As we gather in the temple of the Lord this morning, let's gaze upon his beauty. The heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the works of his hand. Though they are silent, God's creation screams out the glory and beauty of him. Through every sunrise, every living creature that breathes, the planets and galaxies that are in motion, let us join in to worship him. The first song we'll sing is called Beautiful. It's the first time we'll sing it in Heaven Bound, so you can listen to worship team sing first one first, and then join in together. So it goes like this. I see your face in every sunrise. The colors of the morning are inside your eyes. The world awakens in the light of the day. I look unto the sky and say, you're beautiful. First one. I see your face in every sunrise. The colors of the morning are inside your eyes. I see your power in the moonlit light, where planets are in motion and galaxies are bright. We are amazed in the light of the star, this song proclaiming who you are. You're beautiful. I see you there hanging on a tree. You bled and then you died and then you rose again for me. Now you are sitting on your bed. display of God's infinite glory is not just manifested to us through the splendor and beauty of His creation, but also in Jesus. That the God of all majesty would take the form of a baby boy to participate in the human experience, to suffer and to die for us on the cross. Let's join in one song to worship our beautiful Saviour. Jesus, beautiful Saviour, God of all majesty, risen King, Lamb of God, holy and righteous, blessed Redeemer, bright morning stars. All in heaven shout your praise. All creation bows to worship you. How wonderful, how beautiful, name of beautiful, Jesus your name, name above every name, Jesus, Jesus, beautiful Saviour, God of all majesty, risen King, Lamb of God, holy and righteous, blessed Redeemer, bright morning star. All the heavens shout your praise. All creation bows to worship you. How wonderful, how beautiful, name above every name, exalted high. How wonderful, how beautiful, Jesus your name, the name above every name, Jesus. I will sing forever, Jesus I love you, Jesus I love you. I will sing forever, Jesus I love you, Jesus I love you. I will sing forever, Jesus I love you, Jesus I love you. I will sing forever, Jesus I love you, Jesus I love you. How wonderful, how beautiful, name above every name, exalted high.
above every name, Jesus.
The relationship between Christ and the church is often likened to that of a marriage. In Ephesians 5, Paul talks about relationships in Christian households. Husbands, love your wives just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. Now, as the church submits to Christ, also wives should submit to the husband in everything. So this is one beautiful picture of Christ, out of love, gives his life for us, and our response is to submit to him. God's love for us is devoted. He is faithful, and his enduring love stands the test of time. Despite our many failings and doubts, he has and will never leave or forsake us. He is faithful to forgive those who ask for it. His mercies are new every morning. The final song we're going to sing is called Ever Be. It is as our only response to God's faithful and enduring love is praise. It may be a new song to you, but hopefully you'll pay attention to the meaningful imagery in the lyrics and join in to sing this song together. Your love is devoted, like a ring of solid gold, like a vow that is tested, like a covenant of hope. Your love is enduring, through the winter and rain, and beyond the horizon, with mercy for today. Faithful you have been, and faithful you will be. You left yourself to me, and that's why I sing your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. You father the orphan, your kindness makes us flow, and your shoulder our weakness, and your strength becomes our own. You're making me like you, clothing me in white, bringing me from ashes. For you have your right, free from all her guilt, rid of all her shame. You know I heard your name, and it's why I sing your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. You will be praised, you will be praised. You know the same, we say worthy are you, Lord. You will be praised, you will be praised. If angels and saints, we sing worthy are you, Lord. That is why I sing your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Your praise will ever be on my lips, ever be on my lips. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, nice to share with you. So today I'm really happy that my husband is here, Christian is here. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you, Tim, for the worship songs. It really touched me. It really reminds me that no matter you're married or not, or you're in a relationship or not, as a Christian, we should love God first. Yeah, because God loved us first. Yeah, and He created us, and so no love is greater than the love of God. I remember that some of you say last week that I'm just too young for this. I'm too young for like at around 13 or 14. So how many of you are 13 or 14? 13 or 14? Yeah. So probably you or your peers have already some experiences or encountered some boy-girl relationship issues already. So that's the case for me too. So I hope that my experience will, of course, I was a bad testimony, I can tell you, in the past, but I hope I can give you some insight. When you consider boy-girl relationship issues, my experience can provide you some insights. Yeah, so I will start when I was a kid. Yeah, so when I was a kid, I'm using a psychologist model, so that is called Maslow's model. So he says that in different development stages, people have different needs. So as a kid, I try to initially build up confidence and all that. So you try to explore things and all that. And yeah, so when you're a girl, you're really, like, I was a dreaming girl, so I did fancy that, oh, I will marry a prince, and I like all the Disney princesses, and I will meet a handsome prince, and we'll live happily ever after. Any of you like Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, and all those Disney animations? So probably it's not your generation, but my generation is very hit, so I'm like dreamy, like fantasizing that, in the future, I'm going to meet my prince, like this. Okay, so as I proceed into teenager, this stage is, we call this stage the identity stage. Yeah, so this is the stage that as teens, we want to build our identity. So self-confidence is important and all that. So next, please. And to be liked by people. Yeah, and it's like Vanity Fair. I want people to like me. I want boys to like me. Yeah, I want to be popular and all that. So, whoops, I need to move this way. Okay, yeah. So I want to be popular on Vanity Fair, and that time, our group of peers, although I study in a girls' school, but we have a lot of inter-school extracurricular activity opportunities. So I do meet a lot of boys, and the boys are also exploring as well. So of course, we like to hang out together, and boys will give you small gifts. They will write you love letters. Not really like love letters, but they will show interest in you. Yeah, because we don't have WhatsApp and all that, so it's sort of cute. I still keep some of those letters today. Yeah, and they would give you small gifts. Like someone gave me a teddy bear actually, and I put it in my cupboard. I tried to hide it, but my mom found it, and my mom was really worried about me because she sort of know that, oh, okay, so there's some boys-girls relationship going on and all that. And that time we like to sing karaoke. It seems that now you guys don't have a lot of free time, but my time when I was in secondary school, we still have some free time. So karaoke is very hit, so we would go together to sing karaoke. And what I feel really fortunate is because there's a lot of news that, it can be dangerous. Yeah, if you go with some bad people to karaoke, there's girls that being raped and all that. But nothing happened to me, and the boys that I hang out with are from some decent boys' schools. So I'm just thankful for God's protection. Yeah. Okay, so let me tell you what I learned from my initial boy-girl experiences. So I will show you where I live. If you know something about this map, I live here. So this is between the boundary of Mongkok and Kowloon. So I live right before the train bridge, the Mongkok East Station train bridge, and it belongs to Kowloon district. So I sing mixed choir, like junior and senior mixed choir, and we usually practice in a boys' school, and that boys' school is like 10 minutes apart from where I live, actually. Yeah, it's right there, so 10 minutes we can walk to that boys' school. And I have two best friends who are gossip girls, and they like to stay in my place before we go practice to choir, go to the boys' school to practice choir. And they like gossip, and talk about boys all the time. And they have a crush with boys in that boys' school. So, but somehow, I don't know why, for certain reasons, I don't fancy the boys from that school, and they don't fancy me, so it's interesting. But there are boys from another boys' school further away in Kowloon that some of the boys like me. And the interesting thing is Christian dynamics as well. So the boys doesn't want to meet the guys. So he would end there and we say bye-bye. So he would end there and we say bye-bye. So it's like this. A bit like, so it's having an ambiguous relationship, casual dating. A bit like what's going on with me. Having an ambiguous relationship. I was 14 back then, and that's, of course, my parents are very concerned. And yeah, I was 14 back then, and of course, my parents are very concerned. Actually, this map doesn't show with the boys. This map doesn't show. And there's a park right behind that boys' school. This map and at that time, we don't have H1, 5, and 1 yet, so there's a lot of pigeons. There's a park in the park, and we would feed pigeons and all that, do all these kind of things. And at that time, we don't have H1, but something happened yet, so there's a lot of pigeons. I didn't listen to my parents. My parents asked me, and we were too young, don't hang out with the boys all that, do all these kind of things. Studies, and I'm not focusing on my studies. But something happened. But I didn't listen, so I didn't listen. I continued to be my parents asked me ambiguous relationship with that guy. Don't hang out with the boys at school, from the boys' school in Kowloon, kissing on your studies. And God intervened. So I really, God really taught me, but I didn't listen. So I will share with you what happened. I continued to be in an ambiguous relationship. So I studied in a girls' school in Jordan, from the school, from the boys' school. I can walk back home, so I will show you the way that I walk back home. So I can pass through Yelmate and then go back to Mongkok. I will show you from Jordan. So next slide. Okay, I have a good friend from I studied in a girls' school in Jordan and another school. I can walk back home. So I need to share about the school first. This school in Yelmate, my brother studies in this school. I can pass through Yelmate and then go back to Mongkok. The funny thing is from Jordan, actually. And the boy that I like is I have a good friend from in the school. She attends. I hope I didn't confuse you. So like I'm casual dating with a boy first. This school in Yelmate, my brother studies in this school. It's like I don't. And it's a boy school. Like him. The boy that I like is in this school. Actually, you see how messed up I like, right? Is So I'm. But it's only like single-sided infatuation. I hope I didn't confuse you. So like I'm casual dating with a that guy doesn't know in this from the Kowloon school. What I do is I don't really like him. The boy that I like in Yelmate, this school, and they have a big football. See how messed up I am. And my brother likes to play football. But it's only like single-sided infatuation. Actually, both of them also form young folk. So that guy doesn't know. So I will pretend that I'm going to support my brother. Is actually I'm observing that guy that I like. So that, and they have a big football field. So funny, and my brother likes to play football in. The miserable thing is the boy that I like. There's a girls' school right beside the boys' school. Probably you know which girls' school. Pretend that I'm going to support my brother. Boys' school, but actually I'm observing from that guy that I like because so they're so close, right? So funny, right? And then The miserable
What
thing
happened?
is,
Oh, yeah. Let me show you
there's
this.
a girls'
This is
school,
the guy
right
who
beside
have a crush.
I had a crush, which girls' school. So a lot of boys from that boys' school.
This one.
Think the girl.
Girls from
I think he's
girls'
really
school.
handsome
They're
and
so close,
he's a
right?
good student, really brilliant. Maybe
and then,
you can't see clearly
what
because the
happened?
picture.
Oh, yeah.
That time we
Let me
show
show
you
you
first.
first.
So this is the
Digital
guy
cameras,
who
so
I
have
have a crush.
camera.
I had a crush.
with.
So I'm such a silly girl. I will
This
like
one.
secretly take pictures of him. I think he's
So-
really handsome and he's a good student, really
Don't be
brilliant.
like me,
Maybe you can't see
And,
clearly because the picture. That time we don't have.
This boy also
like,
attends
digital
Young
cameras.
Folks
So
Church.
yeah, so
Like
he's part of
camera.
local teams and
So,
he plays football
I'm
really
such a
well,
silly
so
girl.
I will
I really admire
like,
him.
secretly
He's very
take pictures of
gentlemanly,
him.
so
How did I have a
That's
crush with him? I can share a little bit. So
don't be
that
like
time,
me. Yeah.
I
And,
used to support my brother to play football, and
This boy also
in Young
attends.
Folks, we have a lot of football
church.
matches
Yeah, so he's
between
part of
fellowships. So
Young Folk
Young
teams
he
have
plays
a
football really
football
well.
team.
So and
I
other
really
fellowships
admire
have
him
a football
and
team.
he's
So
very gentlemanly.
there's one match
so
between
how
and
did I
other
have a crush
fellowship, and
with
that
him?
was a
I
tough
can
share a
match.
little bit. So
and
that time,
Pastor
I used to support my brother was
football,
leading the
and
team. So
in
Pastor,
Young Folk, we have a lot of
football matches
Pastor
between
Watchman.
fellowships. So
Yeah,
in
Young
Young
Folk
Folk teams,
teams
so that time
have
Watchman
a
was
football
leading the
team.
team.
And
other fellowships
my
have a
brother
football team. So was a defender.
There's one match
Yeah, so
between
he's-
and
and that guy was a
that was
wing,
a tough match.
so he runs really fast.
And
So,
Pastor Shalamel's brother
so Watchman
was
made a
leading the
very
team.
interesting
So Pastor
decision to send my brother out and send me in.
Pastor
And I
Watchman.
what?
Yeah, in Young Folk team.
So
that
I
time
don't even
Watchman
have
was
football
leading the
shoes, and
team.
I was wearing
And
my
brother's
football
brother
shoes,
was a defender.
which doesn't fit,
Yeah,
and I
so
went
he's-
into the field, and that guy was.
I
a
didn't know
wing,
what to do.
so he runs really fast.
Yeah.
as a wing. And then that guy,
And,
he just
helped me
so
out a lot.
Watchman
Yeah.
made a very interesting decision.
He said,
to
"You just
send my
try
brother out and send
to
me in," and I
run and
chased
chase
the
the ball a
guy
lot. Yeah.
from the boys' school in Heiligenthal.
So
He said,
what
"You
happens
just
between
try
us?
to
Yeah, we were like
run and
casual
chase
dating.
the ball." And
So,
that was so
gentlemanly.
I lived with my
And because of this, I had a crush
grandfather,
with him before.
in him,
So
yeah.
he
Of course he
passed
doesn't
away,
know
that guy.
but
that's
before he
what
was,
happened.
my grandpa was quite sick,
So,
so
let me continue to share.
I need to
about,
sort of the
watch
guy
over him
from the
and
boys' school in Heiligenthal. So
what
on a
happened
Saturday,
between us.
so
Yeah,
my
we were
parents
like
told me,
casual
okay,
dating.
you need to stay at home.
So,
you need to take care of grandpa.
I lived with
my brother has some
grandfather,
other extracurricular
before,
activities
so
at school. He
so
passed away. He's away, but
before he was
somehow that
grandpa
guy
was quite
invited
sick,
me
so
to
I
the
need
open
to
day
sort
of the boys' school, watch over him,
Yeah,
and
Heiligenthal.
so I sneaked out on a Saturday. So my parents told me, okay,
I
you
did
need to stay
something
at
really
home,
bad.
You need to take care
I
of
sneaked
grandpa.
out to meet
My
the
brother
guy
has some other
at his school.
extracurricular activities at school.
And-
so
but it's a
he's
small
away.
world.
But
So what happened is
somehow that guy invited me.
another
to
girl
the
from
open
Young Folk
day
was
of
also
the boys'
invited
school.
by some guy
Yeah,
to
Heiligenthal.
the boys' school.
So I sneaked
And
out.
she
saw me, and then she.
So
I think she
did
called my
something
brother
really bad.
or texted my
I
brother and
sneaked
said,
out
"Hey,
to meet the
your
guy
sister is
at
in
his school.
the boys' school."
And but it's a small world.
My
So
brother
what
was furious.
happened
So my
is
brother called me, and he said,
another
"Why
girl
are you
from
there?"
Young Folk was
I'm
also
coming here
invited
to
by
grab
some
you.
guy to the boys' school.
And I was
And
so
she saw
scared
me,
because I
and
don't
then
want any
she-
drama. I think she called my
my
brother
brother
come.
or
He's
text my
going
brother
to
and said,
fight with
"Hey,
those boys.
Your
And my
sister
brother
is
was
in
so furious. the
Yeah.
boys' school. And it would be really nasty. My brother was
Uh,
furious, so my brother called
so
me. What I do is
and
he said, "Why are you there?"
went
I'm
back
coming
home.
here to grab you.
And
My brother so
and I was so scared
because I don't want any drama. I
I've
think
never seen my brother
so
come.
he's
angry.
going to
So
fight
my
with those
brother,
boys. Yeah,
like,
my brother
he
was so
sort of like
furious.
shook me.
Yeah.
He said, "How can you do
And
this?
it would be really nasty. My brother was so angry. So what I do is
And
I know that I did something wrong. I
went
really
back
did
home.
something wrong,
And,
my brother
I
so
shouldn't
came back after his
alone.
activities. And but as
I've
I've
never
never
seen
seen
my
my brother
brother
so angry.
so my brother,
I didn't like cut off the relationship
sort
with
of
that
like
guy.
shook me.
Yeah.
He said, "How can you do this?
So
How can you do this?"
my brother was so angry.
So what happened is,
And I know that I did something wrong.
I just say,
I
"This is
really
how I
did
go back
something
home,
wrong. I will
and,
pass through your mate and go
I
back
shouldn't."
home. So grandpa alone. But
There's
as
a really
I have
rebellious
a
girl,
sister from Young Church who studies.
I didn't
cut off the relationship with that guy right over there. So
And
she has a close friend that.
So what happened is,
always walk with her. I just say this
to
is
the
how I
MTI
go back
station.
home. And that time we don't have
Yamate
home
and
team
go back
station.
home.
So home team station was not built yet. So they
I
have to
have
walk all the way to
a
Yamate
sister
station from Young Church who
And,
studies in.
sometimes I will
meet the sister right over there. on the way because
she
I'm
has
also
a
on the way
close
of
friend
Young Mate,
that,
and she's on the way with Young Mate with
always walk with
and I
her
sort of got acquainted
to the
with her
MTR
friend as
station.
well. At that time, we don't have Homentin
But
station.
this is a
Homentin
small world.
station was not
Yeah.
built yet, so
what
they have to
happened
walk all the
is,
way to Young Mate station. Next.
And
This is
sometimes
how
I
they
would meet
go
the
to Young Mate
sister
and how I go to Young Mate. So we on the way because I'm
halfway.
also on the way of Young Mate,
Is
and she's
this-
on the way with Young Mate with her friend.
the friend of
And I
that
sort of
sister
got acquainted
actually
with her friend as
knew-
well. She knew the
But
guy that this is a small world. I'm casual
Yeah.
dating, and actually
So
she
what
likes that
happened
guy.
is,
Yeah, it's such a small world. And then she
This is
discovered
how
that
they
he
go to Young Mate and
is
how I
sort
go to
of
Young
like
Mate.
having
So
some sort of ambiguous
halfway.
relationship with me.
is the
So that friend of that sister,
one day she
actually
confronted
knew, She knew the
and
guy
she actually confronted
that
me
I'm casual dating.
very
And
close
actually she
to
likes that guy.
the Young Mate boys' school.
Yeah,
So
such a
my
small
brother's
and then
boys'
she
school. So
discovered that
it's quite
he
nasty. The whole thing
is
because
sort
there's
of
a
like
lot of
having
students
some
there.
sort of
And I don't want
relationship
drama.
with me.
So
So I sort of told her that one
I
day
didn't
she
know
confronted
that,
me.
yeah.
You like him,
And she
I
actually
didn't know
confronted
anything
me
about you too.
very close
I'm
to
like innocent.
the Young
And
Mate
I'm
boys'
also
school.
so
So
angry
my
because
brother's boys'
I
school.
sort
So
of know that
it's
that
quite
guy is a
nasty.
playboy.
The whole thing because there's a
he's
lot
not
of
serious
students there.
and all that. And I don't want
Honestly,
drama.
I'm also not
so,
serious, so I shouldn't blame
I
him.
sort of told her
And then later
that
on, I confronted
didn't
that
know
boy.
that. Yeah, I told him that I like him. I didn't know anything about you.
You're also
too.
dating with that girl.
I'm like
right?
innocent,
And
and I'm
then,
also so angry because I sort of
we
know
cut
that
off.
that guy is a playboy and
we
he's
didn't-
not serious.
and
it was
all
quite
that.
ugly. Honestly, I'm also not
And,
serious, so I shouldn't.
but I
blame
think
him.
God really.
And then later
point me
on,
out,
I
so.
confronted that boy.
Yeah.
I told him that, hey, so you're also
I
dating
feel really
with that
sorry,
girl, right? Not because
And
I
then,
don't obey.
we
him,
cut
but
off.
I feel
Yeah.
sorry because my
we didn't-
young folks sister.
it was quite
she
ugly.
also broke up with her
And,
friend.
but
because
I
I
think
think God
God
really taught me a lesson.
Yeah.
Because her
Yeah.
friend thought that the young folks sister sort of
And
supported
I feel really
me and not
sorry,
her, so not
their
because I
friendship
don't.
break up.
So I was very sorry for that.
blame God.
I feel
really
sorry
sorry
because
for what I
my
did.
young folks sister, she
so
also
I was
broke
young
up
then. I
with-
didn't with her
I think I
friend.
didn't really learn
Yeah,
because
lesson.
of this
So,
incident. But I did learn some things. Because her friend thought
this is a
that
small
the young
world.
folks sister
So
sort
don't
of
think that what you do, people
supported
don't know.
me and not her. So their friendship break up.
And
So I was very sorry
guys
for
who
that.
engage in
Not
ambiguous
really sorry
relationships
for
and
what
not
I did.
trustworthy.
So
my
I was
wrongs
young
will
then.
affect
I didn't.
others,
I think
so
I
I
didn't
feel
really
sorry
learn
for
the
the
lesson.
young
So,
sister.
but I did learn some things.
And
God is watching. He knows
this
everything.
is a small world.
Yeah, I just
So
can't. Don't
escape
think
God.
that what you
Yeah.
do, people don't know.
And
God
Yeah.
will intervene. Yeah. So this is something that I sort of learned.
guys who
from-
engage in
from
ambiguous
my
relationships
initial
and not
boy-girls
trustworthy experiences.
my wrongs will affect others, so I feel sorry
And,
for the young
um,
sister. Actually,
and
God is
really-
watching. He knows
I'm
everything.
curious in boy-girl
Yeah, I just
relationship.
can't
I wanted
escape
to date.
God. Yeah. Of course, I'm not
And
mature.
God
God
will
will intervene.
And
Yeah. So
there's
there's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of guys
I
in
sort of
church
learned
that I
from.
grew up with. My initial
but
boy
they see me
girls
as a sister.
A lot of them
Experiences.
are peers of my brother. And now I'm sort of
And,
thankful that
they just see me
actually
as a
I
younger
really-
sister, and
I'm
nothing
curious
happens
in
because
boy-girl
I
relationship.
know I'm going to
Date.
ruin.
Of course, I'm not
mature
the relationship if I
and
date. That
there's a
time.
lot of
And
guys
in fact,
in
I will share with
church
you
that
how
I
I
grew
ruined
up
my
with.
dating relationships.
But
Yeah,
they
so,
see me as a sister.
a lot of
yeah,
them
I circle
are
this
peers
guy.
of my
This
brother.
guy is the guy that
And now
I
I'm
have a
sort of
crush with.
thankful
Yeah,
that
they just see me as a younger
sister
sister, and
of my brother.
nothing happens because
the young
I know
Martin
I'm going to
boys school,
ruin
the relationship if I
kept it
in
in
my
my
heart.
heart
In fact, I will share
because
with you how I
I
ruined
know
my
that
dating
he
relationships.
wants to study abroad,
Yeah, so,
and he works really hard.
yeah,
So
I
he
circled this guy.
did
This
really
guy is
well
the guy that
O levels.
I have a crush with. He did
Yeah,
his high school
classmate
in,
of
my
England.
brother, and then he
Young
entered
Martin
Oxford
Boys School.
University
So,
to study like maths.
And
And then later on, he came back to Hong
kept
Kong.
it in
He
me
entered Oxford work in the finance and banking
I
industry.
shouldn't-
Of course, he learned a lot of money. I shouldn't like him. We go
Unfortunately,
separate
it's a
paths,
pity that
and yeah,
this
his
guy
faith
left church.
is different.
Yeah.
He converted into like Zen Buddhism, so he
And,
left God completely.
yeah.
But when I
So,
was 16,
I know that,
later on I know that was the year that I should be taking my O levels. Actually, I shouldn't focusing. There's a
I
guy
shouldn't
in fellowship
like
who
him.
is
We
interested
go
in me,
separate
paths.
Although
and, yeah, his
I'm
faith sort of as well, but because he's pursuing me, and quite aggressively, should I say
when
that?
I was 16.
Yeah. So he sort of
that was
pursued
the
me, so
year
I
that
say,
I should be
okay,
taking my O levels.
he's a
actually,
Christian,
right?
he's a good
Focusing.
guy, so
There's a
I
guy
sort of
fellowship
want to date
who
as
is
well.
interested
I
in
want
me.
to try dating.
Although
I'm sort
I
of
agreed to be
I
his
have a lot of
girlfriend.
reservations as well, but because
So he's also a
pursuing
smart guy.
me
His grades are good.
quite aggressively, should I say that?
Same
Yeah,
fellowship,
So
and
he sort of pursues
treats
me,
me
so I
really
say,
well.
okay, he's
all
a
that.
Christian, he's a good
But
guy.
very
so
quickly,
I
I
found
sort
out
of
it
turned out to
as
be
well.
a nightmare. Because this guy, he is
So
sort
he's
of,
also
a smart guy. His grades are good. We're in the same fellowship, and yeah, he treats me really well, and all that. But very quickly, I found that it turned out to be a nightmare. Because this guy, he is sort of emotional unstable. So he gets angry easily, and he will scold me. He will make me feel really bad. He can't, due to some problems in his origin family, and he's also not mature. Yeah, so I feel that I really suffered in this, and we broke up quite quickly. So I think I was in this relationship for just half a year, and the breakup was really bad because I refused to face him. Yeah, it's like I hate him. I don't want to do anything with him, and I don't want to talk to him. So it was really bad, and so I gave my brother a huge headache because it's like my brother needs to help me to solve my problem. So he needs to face that guy because we are in the same fellowship, right? And my brother is like, ah. And Pastor Shalomel was also in the same fellowship, and she was like, Tabby, what are you doing? Yeah. So that's how immature I was. And I think for pastors in Young 14, like Pastor Marcus, I don't know, yeah, you're pastoring brothers and sisters in Young 14s. These kind of things often happen. Yeah, so youth pastors need to be really prepared to pastor brothers and sisters. And what I learned is don't get into a relationship hastily. Don't just make a decision because somebody pursued you and you haven't really think carefully. And don't be superficial. So I'm still that time I was a very superficial girl. I like handsome guys. I like guys who have good grades. I see all those superficial qualities and I don't care about spiritual qualities. So that was my problem. Don't ever date a guy who is controlling and have emotional problems. Yeah, so, well, it's not like you can't fall in love with someone who has an emotional defect, but you really need to know what you are getting into if you do so. Yeah. Relationship can be helpful. It's not what I think when I was young. Yeah, when I was a dreamy girl, I thought that, I will meet a prince, everything will be good, and it's not like that. Yeah. Objective external conditions and compatibility is something to be considered. So actually, it's not the right timing for both of us to date. Yeah, because I need to take my O levels, and so I think the thing is, if you decide to date young, there's a lot of changes on the way. People will change, especially when you're a teen. Yeah, because you're still shaping your identity. So think about it. And this is the most important reason. I'm not mature for a relationship. Yeah, I know some people who are really mature, and I have friends who were engaged in a very long-term relationship starting from high school. And they dated for 10 years, they have studied abroad apart, and they're still together, and they finally get married. So those friends, they were very mature, but I'm not mature, so that's my problem. Yeah. But I'm really a rebellious girl, and I still haven't learned the lesson. I still want to date. So when I was 18, that was the time that I should take my A levels. I never focus on my study. You see, I'm always being distracted by boy-girl relationship. I met another guy and I decided to date again. So this guy is, I collided him, I ran into him in the lift in Yanfu Church. It was like, I'm getting down from 12 floors. 12th floor is of course, Yanfu Teens is on 12th floor, and he's coming down from the library. And he was like, "Hi, Tabby, I haven't seen you for a long time." Actually, I knew this guy long time ago, back in Australia. So I immigrated to Australia when I was from 5 to 7. So my family and his family are friends, and later on, he came back to Hong Kong, and his family attended Young Folk, and my family also attended Young Folk. He's like 4 years older, so we don't really overlap in our fellowship life. Yeah. So that time, I'm still in Young Folk Teens, and I will enter university soon, so I will be transitioning to Enoch Fellowship. And for him, he will be graduating soon, and he will be transitioning from Enoch to Agape. Agape is the Young Adult Fellowship. So, and I feel that, oh yeah, it seems that our background are more compatible. So our parents know each other, so it seems that things will go well, and he's a nice guy, he's a Christian, and all that. But what happened is, when we dated, we just lacked love for each other. Yeah, that's what I can say. So both of us are self-centered. We don't put each other the top priority. So next. So gradually, it's like our love for each other sort of dwindle, and we see ourselves more important than the other. So love is something that is very interesting. So if you give more, you will have more love. But when both of us, we don't give, and that's the problem. So to the point that both of us feel that, okay, we just end this. Yeah, we don't love each other anymore. And I'm so focused on, he's also very focused on his studies, and me as well. So, and it's very funny. So a lot of people from church knew that I dated in this relationship, but they didn't know that I dated in a previous relationship. So the pastor in Enoch Fellowship knew that we break up, and she just said, both of you are good, but both of you didn't meet each other at the right time. So I think timing is also important. So I'm still too young. I'm still too young and immature to get into a relationship. So probably later when I'm more mature, if I meet this guy again, we might be together. Yeah, but that's what happened, and there's no if, right, in this world. So what I learned is, like, objective compatibility is not enough. Yeah. Of course, a lot of people, when they pick their mate, you would consider the qualities of the other, his family background, his education background, all that. And even if you pick someone who is objectively very compatible, it turns out it's about your commitment, your will, and your love for the other person, and that we lacked. Yeah. And again, needs to consider life stage needs. For me, I really dream to study abroad someday. So I feel that I won't be staying in Hong Kong long term, so that is not desirable to be engaged in a relationship. A lesser evil is a good breakup. So what I'm glad is we handled this relationship maturely. Yeah, finally, I feel that I did something correct in ending a relationship. Yeah, so we are in good terms. And again, I'm not ready for a relationship. I need to meet the right person at the right time at the right place. So 5 years later, that time I was single. Yeah, I was in Chicago, I was single, and the brother, he messaged me and he said that, I'm getting married, and I'm really happy for him. Yeah. And he also genuinely said that, Tabby, I think you're a really good girl. I wish that you can find a good brother in Christ and all that. So we're in good terms. And later when I returned in Hong Kong, once I met him and his wife is also a sister from Agape Wednesday, in the ground floor. So I get to meet his wife, and I'm also happy about that. Yeah. So I'm so glad that we ended in good terms. So by that time, someone introduced me to this book. So at church, I think the brother, I think it's a sister. She sort of thinks that I'm having too much boy-girl relationship issues. So she gave me this book, and I read it, and I think, yeah, it's good. Just don't that. For my master's degree, I want to study abroad, so I need to work really hard. Yeah, so I'm entering the stage of a young adult as I enter university. So I was 19. I was as free as a girl, as a bird, and all that. So my days in the Chinese University of Hong Kong for my undergrad, I am very happy that I was very focused on my studies, because I have a very clear goal that I did study abroad and all that, which is great. So I meet a lot of friends, which is great, and no boy-girl relationship issues. So that was the time I really got good grades, because I'm really focused. Yeah. So what I learned is there are priorities. In university, they always say you need to do 5 things. 讀書上莊兼職住宿拍拖. So that is studying, joining extracurricular activities, doing part-time job, living in hall, and date. But I can tell you can't do 5 things together. Yeah, you will die. Yeah, there's no way you can allocate your time to do 5 things together. So you need to put your priority in certain things. So that time I put my priority in my studies. And I did the right thing. So last time when I shared my testimony, I shared that I was really thankful that God gave me 2 scholarships so I can pursue my master's abroad in the United States. Yeah, and I really enjoy time free of relationship in my undergrad years. And then I went to St. Louis. St. Louis is in Missouri, is in the middle of the United States. There's not a lot of Hong Kong people there. Yeah, it's sort of a small city. Yeah, smaller city, and there's a lot of international students there. So I get acquainted with a lot of students from Korea, Japan, China, and there's a lot of people from like Southeast Asia, Central Asia, and Africa. And somehow I got really acquainted with African students because I served in the International Students Association, and a lot of African students need help. So, and for this guy, I will mention him later. Yeah, so he's from Ghana and he's a Muslim guy. Yeah. Yeah, so I had a really nice time meeting people. Of course, there's various people, and you meet people from like different religions, a lot of like Hindi, Muslim, Buddhist, a lot of atheists, people who are like LGBT and all that. So it's really an eye-broadening experience. And of course, sometimes, you know, people in the States are very liberal. I have boys asking me that, can we, you know, like literally have sex and all that? Yeah, and I'm like, no. So, and then I also engage in a Chinese church, yeah, with a lot of mainland students. And I served there, the brothers and sisters are very nice, but something nasty happened. There was a guy, this guy, that again, I went into an ambiguous relationship with him. So he sort of, he would give me gifts, he will drive me to school, and he would do all these things. And after 8 months, I got really confused. Yeah, because I don't know what relationship was with him. And it affects our fellowship life. Yeah, that's the nasty thing. Yeah. So a lot of people in our fellowship are guessing our relationship. Yeah. And next, yeah. So we have a group of brothers and sisters who are really close, and yeah, me and him are sort of close. We like to play together, have fun together, but we are in an ambiguous relationship. And later on, what happened is, I figured that he sort of also casual dated with other girls. So you see, I was repeating the same mistake. Yeah, again, I got into an ambiguous relationship. So I confronted that guy again, and of course we didn't end in good terms. And later on, I find that this guy is really a playboy. Yeah, you don't see a person superficially. He serves at church. Yeah, he seems to be very spiritual. He attends fellowship, he attends service, and all that. But in terms of like relationship issue, he just messed up. So later on, he dated another sister, and then he hurt that sister a lot, and they broke up. And then that sister came to me that if I knew what happened between, have some ambiguous relationship with girls in another church, yeah, in the church. So what I think on a fellowship level, we need to protect our brothers and sisters, yeah. And unfortunately, the church in St. Louis didn't do that. Yeah, and that was bad. Yeah. So what I learned is a Christian doesn't mean a good Christian. Yeah. Claiming to be a Christian doesn't mean you behave or you act or you do two different things. And I really repented this time. I know that I did something wrong. Yeah. And I feel hurt, but I picked up myself quickly, yeah. So, but it's quite annoying, but I don't know why. Probably because I was young back then. So, sort of, you encounter a lot of boy-girl relationship issues. So, I attended my second year in my master's, so I'm actually graduating, yeah. I attended Christian conference, a Chinese Christian conference in Kansas City. That is 3 hours from St. Louis. At that time, I served to take care of the children, and it's a big conference, so it's like 1,000 people attending that conference, and all of them are like Chinese Christians. And there was a guy that served with me together, and somehow he was sort of interested in me. And then what happened is we continued to contact, and he just came to St. Louis, and then he asked me that, Tabby, I think you are a really good Christian, a really good girl. Can we consider to be together? And actually, I was really impressed because this guy, he's from China, but he can speak Cantonese. He can speak like fluent Cantonese, and he's so smart. And he studied in Stanford. Like, his outside qualities are really, really good. He studied in Stanford, and he got a job in Silicon Valley, so he's earning a lot and all that. So he came to meet my brothers and sisters in St. Louis as well. But I told him, I was very honest with him that previously I had a bad relationship with a brother in Christ, and I went as well. So I told my parents about that, and my parents agreed that I can go. And I have friends staying in UC Berkeley, so I stayed with my friends. But yeah, we did hang out together and all that. But then we prayed. Somehow, God just let me know that, yeah, he's a good Christian, he's a good guy, but you two just are not together. The reason is Bethel. Next. I attended another mission conference, that is the Urbana conference. I don't know if you heard of that. That is a huge international conference. Next that time God gave me a vision. God gave me a vision that I will be leaving St. Louis. I will go to a city somewhere in the States first, but ultimately God is leading me back to Hong Kong or even China to serve Him. And for that guy, he's sort of very determined that he will be staying in the States. And I just feel that if I get together with that guy, I won't be serving God as God called me. Yeah, God called me. He gave me 2 scholarships to do my master's degree in social work. And I feel a strong calling that God is that direction. Yeah. But I feel that if I marry that guy, life will be good, but I think I won't be working. Yeah, really. Because a lot of people from his community, like, that when the husband, they earn a lot of money, the wife don't work and all that. Yeah. So somehow it's very interesting. I think when 2 people really seek God, we really see, you can really discern what God says. So after both of us pray, we are sort of like, yeah, it seems that we're not right for each other. Yeah. Can I go back to the previous slide? So we maintain friends and we bless each other, and I wrote him a poem. Yeah. To thank him for his appreciation and all that. But to be honest, I did struggle. I can tell you, I struggled. That time I feel that, okay, I'm letting go as good as him. So I did struggle. I can tell you that I did struggle, but yeah. But God really gave a job offer in Chicago because I was fully, I rented, is very cozy, comfy, and spacious in Hong Kong. Yeah, I would never be able to live in such a big place, yeah, by myself, all by myself, 650 square. And Chicago is a very nice city, so I'm so thankful that God brought next. But something surprised happened. So I mentioned the black guy from Ghana, right? The Muslim guy. And he came to Chicago one day, so we are like classmates, friends, so I brought him around and all that. And then he confessed to me his feelings. He said, Tabby, you know that I like you a lot. And actually, I sort of like him a lot as well. So we served together closely when we were in our master's school, and he's very good. And we talked a lot about the Quran allows that, or Muhammad allows that. So he really, from him, I learned a lot about Islam. Yeah, I learned a lot about the rituals, the culture, and the meaning of Islam. And I also shared with him about Christianity and all that. So he's a very spiritual person. And what I really appreciate him is I think he also pursues God. But the thing is, the God that he pursues is not my God. He pursues Allah. And but I think he also really seeks God, because when I asked him that I don't agree that Muslims can marry 4 wives. So he told me that he would definitely not marry 4 wives, because God created 1 man, 1 woman, and he feels that this is the will of God, is 1 man and 1 woman. But because of some history, I refused to admit my feelings. You see, I would like telling myself, it's impossible for me to fall in love with a Muslim. It's impossible for me to fall in love with a black guy. All the time, the 2 years when I was in master, obviously we have a lot of chemistry, actually. Our classmates, our peers can see that. So one of our common friend is from Nepal, and she is actually a Hindi girl. Yeah, so we are so diverse when we study master. So that Hindi girl sort of told me before already that, yeah, he likes you a lot, and will you two consider to be together or something like that. It's just funny, a Hindi girl asked me, but I would say, so even thinking right now, I feel that it was really painful back then. So what I learned is I need to be honest with myself, with my own feelings. Yeah, God knows already. Yeah, even I refuse to admit that I like this guy and all that. God knows already. But of course, I know that we can't be together because our faith is completely different. We don't believe in the same God. But it was also very painful. And some of my friends, I have a lot of non-Christian friends, and they would say, well, you can try it out. Why not try it out? They will say they sort of dislike Christianity too. And they say, oh, how come you guys like Christians are so... You see what I mean? Yeah. They would say something like that. And that time I realized that I was so weak. I moved to Chicago for half a year, but because of my career development, I need to take classes after work. I wasn't engaged in fellowship. I wasn't engaged in church. Oh yeah, time. And so I need Christian support. So what I did is, although I'm not acquainted with the brothers and sisters at the church in Chicago, I decided that I reach out to them. I just told the sisters that I need prayers. I have an issue here. I fall in love with a non-Christian. Please pray with me. And they prayed for me. And they supported me. And I got over it, although it was really painful. So for my healing process, I wrote a really, really, really long letter to that guy just to let him know my feeling each other. Yeah, of course, and we are still friends. And later on, he found a Muslim wife. Yeah, and then I congratulated him, and he also blessed me. And he told me that he will pray to God. His God is Allah, but that he hopes that I can find a Christian guy. Yeah, so we blessed each other. I was actually so tired of, after this, I was so tired. I don't want to, I feel so lost. I feel all the boy-girl relationships are futile. I don't know where I'm heading to, yeah, in terms of love and marriage, yeah. So we'll continue upstairs, yeah.
So there will be a part 2.
Yeah, we'll go upstairs and I will continue.
For those who are online and watching, we'll try to provide live stream service later on the 15th floor.
So, are you done with the questionnaire? I wonder. Who is done with the questionnaire? Or still doing? Okay, a few more minutes.
You can see the definition, you know.
Oops, sorry. girls, if you're done with the questionnaire, can you help me set up 2 tables? Sorry, Lily. Still on there.
I wish I had a stable.
Is it too dark? Turn off the lights over there. It's too dark.
They will maybe turn on the lights first because we'll work on something.
Well, I wish this was a book. In fact, this is just a book. But it's at 99%.
Okay, so boys, I would like to divide you into 2 groups first. So, younger and older mixed together. So, how about this? Charcoal, Sean, Andy, and Chanel. Here.
Wait, what is that?
Okay, Charcoal, Sean, Andy, and Chanel. Can you move to this table? And our other 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So our other 3 boys will be Daniel, Marvel, and Colin. Can you move to that table? And this side. How about this? Our younger girls. So that would be Kate, Julie, Diana, and Kate here. This table and how about Tiffany, Megan, and Bethel. And Haley, Nadia, and okay, let's move.
Where's Pastor Marcus? Where's Pastor Marcus?
Oh, it's Javier.
Bethany, Megan,
What are you guys doing? What are you doing?
okay, so let me tell you what are we going to do now. Yeah, thank you for. So have all of you finished the questionnaire? So finished already, the questionnaire finished? Okay, so first of all, for each group, you will have some Bible verses. Try to see according to your understanding. What is the will of God or what is not the will of God from the Bible verses. And then I will also give you a case study. So for case study, there's no right or wrong. Yeah, our world is complicated and a lot of these are true cases. Yeah, actually, all of them are true cases. So you can discuss how do you feel about the situation for the case? What advice would you give to the friend? Yeah, imagine he or her is your friend. And what will you say to him or her? So now I'm going to distribute the Bible verses and the case. Take a look. Yeah, so you have 15 minutes to discuss on the Bible verses and the case. Yeah. So for the time being, I will see if I have enough time to work on the questionnaire results. Yeah.
面雪上加霜，再加上美国升息速度。
Hi.
Sure.
What does this mean? Jay. Hey, look at this.
What is it? So what is this? Behavior. Oh, behavior film. Current vertical has been selected. Bible verses. Wait. So like Mary.
What does this mean?
Living together.
Not make corrupt here or not. So it's not corrupt, not here or not.
Yeah, it's time for discussion. Yeah. So for the Bible verses, according to your understanding of the Bible verses, what is the will of God or what is not the will of God? And for the case study, imagine that the person is your friend. So how do you feel about his or her situation? What advice would you give him or her? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What? Wait, what? Can't see. What does this mean? What is this? What? I'm so
I don't care. You know how to play the song. Or well,
And then like what
meaning.
oh it's like
Okay.
more
It talks about if there's a yeah, that's pretty much just saying that.
I guess in that situation, the family,
Your eyes are dumb.
some part of it.
Veils like the thing you wear for a wedding. Those are the bride veils.
Maybe it's also throughout
So it's sort of like that so pretty much means she's beautiful. It means she's beautiful. Okay. No. She's beautiful. Done. Andy, do you think we should be helping us? I don't know. Just have a this in entire, the second one is just like, I don't know what this is. Goats represent ghosts, of course, goats. I'm so confused. What am I supposed to do? You all have video where Owen marries herself and Blake.
But then the first, I guess the first part is so she does her so before
Or why does it treat them ghosts like immigrants like Ireland?
Okay, please focus on your case study.
I'm definitely not spying on the board.
I'm not spying on it.
Please.
Abusing admin powers be like. These are the admin powers. Sean. What the heck? That's disrespecting. You're all words. You're all words. I hate you. Stop. And exchange case study so they can look at ours. This is not.
I don't know.
Look at this.
More. I don't know what I think.
you think it just means wrong?
How does he fix the problems? Leave the problems, like leave her. Emigrate to Russia. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty hard. That's pretty hard.
I mean, does it say that he's a Christian? So then you just emigrate to Russia. Whatever. Go to another country. Deal with the problem.
Brazil. Bye-bye. They're going through this one for
Like, get a new haircut or something. I don't know. What? It's the morally best way to do it. I mean, he doesn't have to deal with it. Not his problem. Not his problem. It is his problem. It's most likely his problem. Because I leave the
What if we keep that wasted at that? Wait, what?
Yeah.
What is Andy? We don't know.
Yeah, Grace.
It's off.
Okay, Andy Grace.
What's the height?
I don't know why.
Why is it? Hey, look,
Andy Grace. We are just Andy Grace.
Wasn't like the man on profile.
Ah.
Look at your sister. Put that guy's name.
Okay. Yes. English outward.
Hey, look at this. The burger. Look.
Oh, dude, look. High feet of cow. Oh, go over there. I want to see what that input is. I don't see you yet. Not yet. You?
Do you see me?
No, she just tapping.
Wait, what? It's moving?
Oh, there, look. It's Andy. It's like 10 seconds late.
So then we should. You touch the thing.
You have a tracker or something?
Hello.
Oh, I have your highlighter.
Oh, wait, I paused it. I'm stupid.
No.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Oh, it's a live.
Oh, it's a live broadcast? Do it again.
Hi, it's me again.
Do it.
Hi.
I was looking in the mirror.
God, did you see me?
I've been working. This isn't that in. Oh yeah, I saw you.
What's this one?
Live broadcast.
What? Wait, where's that, right? Where's this?
How you see the
Ow!
camera?
Okay, oh yeah. Why is he there? Why is he?
It's a live broadcast. That's the camera. Why you see the camera?
Can I block it?
Okay, yeah. Okay, go
Block
back.
it on, block
Oh
it.
no, go back. I want to see how long it takes for something to write.
Hey, no, put your face closer. Let it see your eyes. Hey, look, it's on your eye.
I'm putting his hand. I'm gonna see the input.
I'm not talking.
No.
It's just Tabby working. This isn't that. Oh,
No.
It's a Kindle.
okay, there we go. It's about like 30 seconds. It's like
Where
30
did you
seconds.
find it? You always say
It's in the WhatsApp group. The link's on the WhatsApp group.
Wait, the camera.
Wait.
Oh, it's her.
Wait, guys, I have a great idea. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
It can film itself. Wait, no. I'm seeing if it can film itself.
Yeah, we'll film itself.
Let's go back.
Hey, it's not it.
Wait, dude, why is he even facing this way? Wait, it's the girls or something.
Let's turn it.
Wait, that's like 20 seconds late. Yes, Tabby is very.
What's this for?
Oh, look. Oh, look, it's like 20. Wait. So wait, there we go.
Do you follow her?
Wait. No, I wanted to see.
They
I
want. Oh no. looking at the outside. Wait, no, I'm okay. So
Mr. Marcus?
when is her birthday?
Somewhere in the office. What are we doing? Where do you find it? What are we doing? Just chill.
No? Hey, why don't you follow her?
She looks like the combination of. Look at the online example of Elsa.
That's pretty.
Yeah. Though her eyes is too big. No, you cannot find her.
Oh, no, you have hours on the
Gabriel.
Hey, you are checking my friend.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you have no phone.
Rihanna is a pro stalker.
He got off her. Yeah, I'm taking a break.
Alright.
Calling my mom. Oh.
But your mom is my friend.
No.
Alright.
Come in. Get off Andy's chair.
Alright, come back. No phone.
Well, that's like 20
No, you always have to be in this noise. No phone until we
May not be relevant.
stop any.
May not be relevant.
Alright. You can continue with me. That's good.
You don't even know her name.
I need to. I'm certain I can find her, but it's just that.
Can you?
I'll pray about it.
Of course,
That's easy. So try to be nice and you want to put this. You cannot just say, Marcus, get over it. No, that would break my heart. No. Don't break my heart.
Hey, you know what? If we don't break your heart, you'll help you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so we did.
Be gentle and say to me, Marcus.
No, you won't hear it. Say that to yourself. Yeah.
Why do you guys have experience in that?
Because our friends do it.
It's called Call and Express.
Are you so
Alright. What about I say, I just cannot get over it. I can't stop thinking about it.
Yes, you can try your best yourself. Then I'll part. You can get over it by yourself. Add oil. Do that.
Hey, tell me. These three are foodies. They're foodies.
Line it up.
Yeah, you go.
Can we go? Bye-bye.
No, I turn the camera off.
Careful of the wires.
Yeah, Annie.
No, it's my turn.
These guys school?
Yeah. It works. Hey! Careful, you guys are gonna break the chair. We're gonna break the chair. Hey, move resist. Push this way. Move resist.
Are you one of
Close shot. You can't do anything. I know, I have it next to you. What's up, dude? We're winning.
Tim is
whimpering.
Oh, Pastor Market.
Oh, okay.
It's still swimming. Wow.
Yeah, look, it's Pastor Market. Pastor Market is live on recording.
A lot. I don't.
Okay, we will start in 2 minutes.
We're winning.
Look, no. I'm gonna look at
I'll let you play
20
something
seconds.
else.
Okay, then let me play.
No.
Kids. Can we see there?
No. Colin, aren't you supposed to be helping Marvel?
No, we're just doing random stuff on the
Are we gonna start in 2 minutes? Yeah.
Random.
Flash TVs. I got
Why are you guys
I really hate it.
I
I really hate it.
Okay, people are just farming. These guys are farming. You won, right? Oh, these guys are
All right. Marcus,
Hey, battle. Battle. Maybe rocket. Wait, there's a battle. Use this guy. He has robot.
Ooh.
I know how you do it.
Ooh.
I know how you do it. You
Ooh.
invite
Yeah.
Mail.
Ah.
Where's mine? What's that?
Oh.
Hey, look, hey, look. Hi, Tita. I want to see you too. Hey. Oh,
Easy.
Okay.
No.
If I were you guys,
Very
if I were Marcus instead of Greely,
Very good.
I would say to the Marcus, hey, Marcus,
Hey, say it to yourself.
and I was like, Marcus, sorry about it, I will walk with you.
I disabled it.
Megan, what advice would you give to
Farming people.
a heart-broken boy?
What's this guy's name?
Morgan!
Oh, I would tell him
The generation gap. Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, look, everyone says that.
Don't say something like, hey, I know you're heartbroken.
No.
Remember?
Where's empathy?
Hey,
There is no empathy.
generation.
Yes, I'm legendary. The best.
All right. Truth bomb. Megan.
No,
Have
you
you
speaking.
Yeah, I'll play
Situation
this
like
one.
this.
Yeah, but you can persuade me something.
A 14-year-old girl is
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying
You have a
anything.
Kindle, my God.
Why don't you walk?
We have charcoal. Charcoal marble. Charcoal marble. Oh, I'm sorry, tangled marble charcoal. I hope you have a list of music products.
So that
I
means
see sharp
you
skills
her
in
to
you.
try first to see whether she really does have a chance.
Okay, time's up.
You're gonna
I
get
see sharp skills in you.
Yeah, it's hard to get over it.
Gee, you're good at these puns. So cool.
Generation gap.
So
God.
we have around an hour. So today we are going to learn about what is God's will on dating and marriage. Yeah. So I think as a church we have the responsibility to let you know the teaching of God. Of course, the world doesn't think this way, and to be honest, Christians, we are minority. Yeah, we're really minority. So hopefully we can stand firm in Christ. Yeah. And what I pray is, okay, I was really rebellious, and God really teaches me. Yeah, so I hope that we will also learn and grow, and because God loves you so much, so I believe He will definitely intervene, and that's also my prayer for you. Yeah, if you consider love and dating. So I will just be really quick. It is legitimate that you want to date or you want to pursue a boy-girl relationship. Yeah, God has actually created man and woman, so it's natural. It's natural. And below are some of the reasons why you want to date. A lot is about peer influence, maybe influenced by social media, and maybe you want to get married. And these are some of the reasons. You want to try out dating and all that. So how do you know if I'm in love? I think we need to differentiate liking and loving are two different things. Like, you have a good impression of the other person. Does it mean love? Yes or no? No, yeah. You can have good impression on a lot of people. And feeling good, is it love? No, yeah. So it's you need some discernment and differentiate how you feel about the other person. So here is, well, you meet a lot of people in your social network. Yeah, and there's a group of people that who you like. And maybe you have some really close friends, yeah, who you're close with. But the person who you love, it should be only one person actually. Yeah, the person who you really admire, you love. Yeah. So the results, thank you for filling up the questionnaire. It's very revealing. So do you think it's okay to casual date? Some say yes. Okay, so what is the will of God? The will of God is not it's not like God matching a particular person with you. It's not like that. It's not like A to 1, B to 2. Yeah. This is not the will of God. Remember that. We always have a choice. The will of God is within the boundaries that God laid to us. Yeah, we always have a free choice to choose who within the boundary of God we can choose. Yeah. But those outside is not God's will. Yeah. But always remember that we have a freedom to choose. So we can't blame anyone if we fail in a relationship. Yeah, because we always have a freedom to choose. Define relationship with opposite sex. Yeah. I won't talk about these. So I think we will go directly to our case studies. Yeah. So if you have a crush with someone, what shall you do? So can I have group 1? Yeah, maybe you read out your case first and let us know what will you say to your friend.
Read your case first.
Yeah, read it out first. Yeah, just read it out. So everyone knows.
Hey!
Louder.
lying.
What?
Would you still encourage Alice to sort of confess her love to that guy?
Why not rejected and then failed?
So, like Brianna and Seeley, you encourage her to do so, so she'll get rejected and get over it. But for Judith, no, why not?
Because she knows the boy will reject.
Okay, so you think better not to do that? Yeah. But she's so in pain and so in love with him, so what do you think she can do? Yeah.
No one cares.
Okay, what do you think about this situation?
Very evil. I like it.
Well, what will you say to Alice? Mrs. Lynn? Better what?
I like Zoom.
Be a better person. Okay, that's very encouraging. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So I think Alice is really helpless, and how will you support her to get over it? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is our first case study. Thank you. Well, a lot of times it's not rational, right? Having an infatuation or crush with somebody, yeah. So ideally, you should quit, right? Yeah. But of course, it's not an easy thing to do. Yeah, like you quit. Yeah. Like for me, I put it deep inside my heart. Yeah, for many years. Yeah, like when I had that crush with that guy. Yeah. So, and let's take a look at this. So, have you ever had a crush with another person and experienced dating or some sort of love or boy-girl relationship issues? Many of you are happily single. Some of you wish to date. Yeah. So some of you have a crush with another person, and actually that's normal among teenagers. Yeah. And some already have some experiences in love with boy-girl relationship issues. Yeah, but none of you have dated. Yeah. So that means it's correct for us to conduct this workshop according to the data, and we are glad that we are conducting this workshop with you. Okay, love and date properly. I think I will talk about this, but let's really see what is the teaching of God. Remember, God's will is within God's boundary. We are free to choose. So, what is the boundary of God? Okay, so group 1, right? So, according to Genesis, what do you think is the will of God? These 2 Bible verses from Genesis. God created male and female, and man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Yeah. Yeah, what do you think? Yeah, God created male and female.
It has to be opposite sex.
Yeah, male and female. Yeah, male and female. So the principle is one man and one woman. Yeah. And I think group 2 got this Bible verse, right? Ephesians 1. Yeah. So according to Ephesians, what do you think is God's teaching? Yeah. Unity of the Spirit in one body and one spirit, one hope, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. One. Yes. So basically it's here. So one faith, one baptism. So that means we share the same faith. Yeah, we share the same spirit in God. Yeah. So it means that actually Christians, we should find a Christian. Yeah, to share the same faith. And then for the third group, we read the Genesis verses already. This is the Malachi verse. What do you think is God's teaching here? He make them one with a portion of spirit in the union. So do you think that you can have others outside a relationship? No, right? Yeah. So the principle here is one husband, one wife. Yeah, one only. Yeah. No third person, no third parties. And I think this one is a bit difficult. Yeah. It's from Songs of Songs, and we know that Songs of Songs is a love book. Yeah. So it describes about the love you have for your spouse. Tim, any idea?
So like very passionate about it.
Yeah, very precious. Very precious. Like you're solely on her. It's solely on her. Yeah. You love her solely. You love her with one heart, one mind. Yeah. So when we are in love, you're not thinking about other people. Yeah. It's solely, your love is solely for your spouse. And then, what do you think? For the Songs of Songs verse? Marco, any idea? What is the teaching of God here? Yeah, so
That's not really, that doesn't offer really love, and it's,
yeah, thanks for the example. So material gain, all that is not compatible with love. Yeah, love should be pure. It's very sad because a lot of people marry not out of love. We know that. Yeah, yeah. They marry because of money and all that. And but love should be very pure and it should be lifelong. So this is according to the teaching of God. So let's take a look. Do you think marriage should be lifelong? So majority of you think so, but some of you do not think so. Yeah. So hopefully after studying God's word, you will rethink about this. I know there's in this simple world, imperfect world, a lot of things are imperfect. Yeah, we know that. Yeah. Do you think it's okay for couple to divorce? It's half and half, actually. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, I know, I understand that. A lot of people think this way. So what if I really suffer in a marriage? Yeah, what should I do? Okay, assuming that you have a loving girlfriend or boyfriend, are you willing to get married? Majority of you say yes, it's good to be committed. Some of you say yes, I'm confident that I can maintain a lifelong relationship. A few of you, maybe one or two of you say no. Cohabitation is also a good choice. And some of you say, yeah, you can divorce, so not confident to stay in a lifelong relationship. Okay, so let me summarize a bit. So the will of God is One man, one woman, one faith, one baptism, one husband, one wife, one heart, one mind, one love, one life. Yeah, one. Yeah, should be easy. Well, we know that why I'm giving you these cases, because we know that in real life it's difficult. Really, it's difficult. There's no easy answer to these questions. So, but if now you know that God's will is for marriage to be lifelong, that means we really need to take cautious and serious decision. Yeah, this is a decision. I would say it's the second most important decision in your life. If you want to marry, yeah. If you want to stay single, then it's fine. Yeah. The first decision, most important decision in your life is to decide whether you want to believe in God or not, whether to follow Christ or not. If you decide that you don't want to be single and you get married, finding your lifelong partner would be the second most important decision in your life. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what is not the will of God. So I think group 1 got this verses, right? Hebrews, is it group 1?
Hebrews 13:4.
Yeah, Leviticus and Proverbs. So God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous, and drink water from your own cistern, flowing water from your own well. So don't go to other people's well. Yeah, focus on your own. So what does this mean? Any idea? Yeah, you have your own well. Why do you go to other people? Right? Okay, so we know that extramarital affairs is not the will of God. That means if you are in a marital relationship, you should be committed, yeah, with your spouse. Yeah, we just said that it's one person only, right? Yeah. But if you seek out other people, this is not the will of God. Yeah. And I study social sciences, and there's some news report and all that, so can provide you some data. I don't know if you know Ai Fukuhara. She's sort of a celebrity in Japan. Recently, she hit the news because she divorced her husband because she has extramarital affairs, which is really bad. And they have children, so now they're divorcing. And then she's marrying the guy that she's having extramarital affairs. I'm like, oh. But the celebrities are always like that. Yes. Oh, I think we're not in the same generation, so you don't know her. Okay, so one of the most devastating thing that can happen in marriage is infidelity. That is extramarital affairs, and many ends in divorce. So we know that sometimes it's sort of complicated. I'm not going through the details. There's a lot of reason why some people, they never feel that they will get into those kind of temptation. They thought they are very committed to their spouse. But when temptation came, it's just, they have extramarital affairs. I'm not going into the details, but we do see with the love of Christ, some couples, they can forgive each other. Yeah, and they come back together. So in our church, we have a few testimony on that too. Yeah. Without God, I don't think the couples, they can forgive each other and really get together again in marriage. Yeah, it hurts a lot. Yeah, infidelity, it hurts a lot. I think the second group, you got this verse. Yeah. So the Pharisees challenged.
No, we got S.
Oh, who got this verse? The Matthew verse, is it? No? Oh, you guys got it. Yeah. Okay, it doesn't matter. We can just take a look. So the Pharisees challenged Jesus is it normal to divorce your wife? And then Jesus actually quoted Genesis. Yeah. God created man and woman, and two shall become one flesh, so they shouldn't pass. And Jesus said, because of your hardness of heart. Yeah, that's why Moses allowed you to divorce, but this is not the will of God. Yeah, so we know that divorce is not the will of God. And here it says, if someone forsakes the companion of a youth and forgets the covenant of God, the covenant is in God, so God takes it seriously. Yeah. So in Old Testament time, this is serious crime. Yeah. Of course, nowadays a lot of people divorce, but this is not the will of God. Okay, so now here comes our second case study.
Your Christian friend Daisy, 34, got married after dating a Christian guy for 1 year as she felt that she was getting old. You and other Christian friends had reservations as the guy has emotional problems and is very impulsive. But as Daisy made up her mind, you gave your blessing. Daisy frequently has conflicts with her husband after they got married. Daisy is frustrated that her husband doesn't respect and refuses to problem solve. One day, Daisy's husband lost control and physically abused her. She left the house immediately to stay with her parents. For 3 months, Daisy and her husband haven't contacted each other. Daisy is completely heartbroken. She feels that her husband doesn't love her. She doesn't know what to do. She feels frustrated. It's a year.
Yeah, how do you girls feel about this situation?
She should get a divorce. Yeah.
So you will advise her to get a divorce?
Yes.
Why?
Abusive relationship.
Because she's in an abusive relationship. How about Megan? Similar.
Because we all.
How about Tiffany? Similar. It's very sad to tell you, Daisy, of course, it's not her real name. She's a close friend of mine. And it's completely heartbreaking for me to see her going through all this. So Daisy, she seeks God. And so what I told her is when she ran back to her home, because her husband sort of hit her, I told her that your safety is the first concern. And I told her that you seek healing first before thinking about the next step. But I'm heavy-hearted. I struggle as well because I do think that her choice of getting married is a bad choice. Yeah, personally, as a friend, I do. But as Christian, I feel that I shouldn't encourage someone to divorce. So what I tell her is the worst case is you are sort of separate with your husband, but don't divorce because as Christian we don't really divorce. Of course, this is not ideal. That means you're not really having a husband and wife relationship. You're just keeping the marriage, but doesn't have real relationship with your husband. And I told her this would be the worst scenario. You live your life, your husband live your life, but you two don't divorce because both of them are Christian. And actually, a lot of couples, some couples in Yangon are also in this way. We have a lot of broken families in our church as well. We are a big church, so pastors need a lot of wisdom because my mom has served in the Mother's Fellowship and all those single Dorcas Fellowship. Dorcas Fellowship is the single mom's fellowship. So there's actually a lot of broken families who struggle, but we try to seek God. But I think God just showed a lot of grace to Daisy as Daisy seek her, and a lot of grace to her husband. So they went for counseling. So both of them went for counseling, and Daisy's husband needs to work out her original family issues, why he lost control all the time and all that. So Daisy actually, I really appreciate her because if it's not the love of God, she can't be that patient, and she just can't do this. She can't just. I always wonder how can she accept her husband again after all this. And she told me it's because of the love of God. Yeah, so she's working hard with her husband to rebuild the relationship. So that's what they are going through right now, and I pray for them all the time. Yeah.
But I know in reality, it's not easy. Yeah, because it's not about you. It's also about the spouse, the other half that is willing to change and reflect and all that. Yeah. So divorce, you can see divorce rate has skyrocketed. Yeah. And now it's sort of fluctuated a bit after 1999, getting into 2000, it becomes stable and fluctuated. But now, women gets more independent, so they say, I don't need to just to stay in an unrewarding, unfulfilling relationship. So actually, a lot of people who divorce are women. Yeah, because women are getting more and more independent. And divorce rate is really high, just to let you know, it exceeded 30%. So 1/3 of marriages will end in divorce in Hong Kong. And in the States, it's even worse, it's half will end in divorce in the States. And even for Christians, evangelical Christians, nearly 4 of their marriages will end in divorce. Yeah, so it's very challenging. So for churches, it's very challenging. Yeah, so that is the reality that we are facing. Yeah. So, okay, so recently a Christian blogger, a famous blogger, she blogged about her situation. So she knows that she shouldn't divorce, but so this is just to show you in reality how difficult it is to handle relationship. We know God's principle, yeah, and we try to uphold it. And please pray for the church. Please pray for the pastors, and also pray for your parents to have strong marriage and they can problem solve and communicate. Actually, divorce creates a lot of hurt. Yeah, so you see a lot of hurt in our society because divorce rate is so high. And if someone is really going to divorce, hopefully they can handle it well. Yeah. So, do you know Miranda Kerr and Orlando Bloom? Or is it my generation? Yeah, my generation. Yeah, so they remained in good terms after the divorce. They both of them have set up other families and they co-parent their son and all that. So I think they're one of the couples who handled divorce in a nice way. Of course, it's still not desirable. It's not God's will. Remember, divorce is not God's will. Okay, Leviticus. Who got this first? Leviticus. No. Oh. Yeah. So, what is not the will of God? You shouldn't marry other people's wives, husband, and I think this is a bit difficult. Yeah, it talks about incest. Yeah, incest is not the will of God. But nowadays in modern society, I think now we don't have this problem. Yeah, it will be much less because you see you can't marry your relatives, right? Biologically, it's proven that there will be problems. Yeah, and then. Who got this? Leviticus verse and Romans verse? Is it? Oh. Yeah. So what is not the will of God here? A male should not lie with a male. And what do you think? What is not the will of God? Yeah, homosexuality. Yeah, this also talks about homosexuality is not the will of God. Okay, so what do you guys think? Is it okay to be involved in a same-sex love relationship? Some say yes. Some say it's the freedom to choose who to love. Of course. I personally also have friends who are gay and lesbian. I even got one bisexual friend, which I find so weird. I don't understand her beliefs. I try to understand. To understand this, you really need to understand God's will on sexuality. Yeah, so the Genesis is one of the most important book in the Bible. Yeah, so why God created a man and a woman at the first place? Yeah, you need to understand that. But at the same time, we can't enforce our beliefs on non-Christian. Yeah, yeah. So of course, if your non-Christian friends they don't share the same belief as us, we respect them. But as Christians, we know that this is not the will of God. Do you know anyone in your social circle, family, who is involved in the same-sex love, homosexuality? Yes, so probably one of you do. And which is not surprising at all because, yeah, there's a large number of LGBT population as well. And I do have a relative also, yeah, who is lesbian. So. And if you're going to date or marry, the person would be, oh. So one of you identify yourself as homosexual. Okay. Don't worry, we are not going to figure out who he or she is. Yeah.
Why not?
No, this is not the purpose of the questionnaire. Yeah. Yeah. Just share a little bit. Dr. Christopher Yun. He was a homosexual and he converted to God and he wrote books about the struggle and how to help like Christians who struggle. So, and I personally know an ex-lesbian. So she did share with me that she doesn't like men. Up to today, she doesn't like men, but she knows that it's not the will of God to practice homosexuality or to be in love with someone of the same sex. So she decided to be single. Yeah, so that's her choice and that's her commitment to God to be holy. And same as Dr. Christopher Yun, he doesn't like women. Yeah, so he practiced abstinence and he became a single, like a single, happy single. Yeah. And who got this Bible verse? 2 Corinthians. Yeah. So what is the biblical teaching here? Nadia? Any idea? Do not be yoked with unbelievers. Yeah, so God's will is we find a life partner sharing the same faith. So we just shared one spirit, one baptism. It's really not easy. Yeah. So I just shared with you my testimony, right? It's really not easy, I will tell you. And who got this case? How do you feel about the situation? What advice would you give Chloe? Nadia, what do you think? You don't know. Yeah, it's difficult because especially they're 7 years into the relationship already. And I don't feel like it's good to ask people to break up. Yeah, it's not good to ask people to break up. But Chloe would need to decide. Yeah. And I think if I'm a Christian friend, I would tell her that I will always remind her that she
needs to seek God. Yeah, she really needs to seek God because her husband doesn't seek God, so it's likely that she will not seek God. Yeah, and in reality, I have friends who marry non-Christian because, you know, at church there's not a lot of Christian guys. And usually those friends who marry non-Christian, some of them really don't go to church anymore and they don't see God anymore. Yeah, which is sad. Yeah, but that's the reality, and yeah. Yeah, but again, this case study let us know the reality is not as simple. Yeah, it's always like a difficult situation. Yeah, but if you haven't started a relationship yet, I would highly recommend that you really think twice. Yeah, if you want to date a Christian or non-Christian. Well, as I say, a lot of teens start to have like boy-girl relationship experience as you see the data that the questionnaire gives. So probably within 3 or 4 years. Yeah, you have such experiences. Yeah, good to be prepared, right? Do you think it's okay for a Christian to marry a non-Christian? So, well, it's like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. Yeah.
One
Yeah,
person says no, it's okay.
So 2/3 of you thinks it's okay. Yeah. So.
Yes, it's okay.
And
Yes, it's okay.
I want to
No,
talk a
it's
bit about
okay.
singleness. Actually, a lot of girls, they struggle just like this girl here. Yeah. Once you reach 30 years old, now you are not there yet. Yeah, the struggle is very huge for girls, and some of the girls, they will choose to marry non-Christian because of that. Yeah. And I got a friend. She wrote this on her Facebook, and I copied it. And I can see she's really struggling. She knows all the biblical teachings, but to her, she's really lonely. Yeah, she's really lonely, and I think we need to empathize that. Yeah, so a lot of people tell her that, oh, seek His kingdom first, and all these things will be added to you. Yeah, we all know that, right? But that loneliness is so real. So we need to be empathetic, and it's very important that as a Christian community, we support each other. Yeah, to face all these struggles. Yeah, and to be honest with one another. And I'm just so happy when I was in Chicago. I'm not acquainted with the sisters there, but when I shared with them my struggles, they prayed for me. Yeah. And always find good role models. Yeah. Okay, I don't think you know her.
What?
Supermodel from Taiwan, Xilin Lan.
Super idol.
Yeah, not your generation. She's even older than me. So she was single for a long time, and she is considered as a very good example. And she got married at age 45, I think. She married with a Japanese celebrity, singer. Yeah, so I think role models are very important. Yeah. So, do you think marriage is a must? Yeah, a lot of you say marriage is a matter of choice, and yes, marriage is a matter of choice. Yeah. And we can definitely be happy singles. Yeah, fulfilling and happy singles. Yeah. Assuming that by age 30 you're still single, what will you do? Of course, this is an assumption question. A lot of you are confident that you'll be happy single. Let's see.
What?
Yeah, time flies, so 20 years pass quickly. Yeah. Yeah. But you know, Pastor Marcus and I would be really happy, like in future, like when you date and get married, you tell us that I get to
We have to
know.
tell you guys.
Well, not necessary, but we will be happy to hear from you. Yeah, of
I want
course.
to officiate your wedding.
Yeah, that would be so great. Yeah.
For free, sure.
Okay, so who got this file first? Hebrews?
Charcoal.
Yeah.
Charcoal.
Chocolate.
What do you think?
Charcoal.
What biblical teaching is here? Yeah, so marriage needs to be held in honor. Yeah, the marriage bed is undefiled, so God wants us to be holy. Yeah, God wants us to be holy. God has created sex exclusively for marital relationship. So technically, and I hope so, I'm the only person who is married here, so I should be the only person, hopefully, to have sexual experiences. I mean, yeah. Yeah, so premarital sex is not the will of God. But again, it's very challenging. You know, non-Christians, they think other ways. Yeah. So there's a lot of temptations out there. You need to be careful. Okay, group 4, you have this case, right? Can you read it out?
That he is not ready to prepare the child for a marriage with his girlfriend. He doesn't afford to raise a child when he's not related to his father or a husband. However, it seems that his girlfriend is trying to keep the child. He regrets his carelessness on unprotected sex causing his pregnancy. He still wants to take responsibility and be supportive to his girlfriend, but he doesn't know how to make the decision.
Boys, what do you think about this situation? And what will you say to Jay?
Emigrate to Russia.
Immigrate to Russia? What?
You escape.
Let's go to another country or just delete all her chats with her. Simple. Problem done.
So you will shirk away, right? What you mean
Go to
is
Brazil.
John.
Yeah.
How about Tamil and charcoal? Yeah. What will you say to Jay?
Confront everyone and just self-resolve. If you know you've got a bad thing.
Sorry.
No, confront everyone you know. Or confront all your relatives. No, confront your parents.
Confront?
Yeah, confront.
Okay. So need to say sorry to them. And CCL, you
Yeah,
mean?
you have to.
CCL. Yeah. Okay, it looks like that Jay, he just feels sorry for being callous, but he's not sorry for, you see, having premarital sex. Yeah, he's sorry that he's so callous, so making his girlfriend pregnant. And well, they need to work it out. The two sides of the family needs to work it out. Yeah, if they are going to keep the child, there's actually a lot of options out there. Adoption is an option, and it seems that the girl wants to keep the child, so probably the girl will become a single mom if that's the case. If Jay doesn't want any to take responsibility, so he's like forfeiting the child caring responsibility, so legally he won't be his father, and the mom will be a single mom. So probably it will become this case. But if the girl doesn't want the child,
What if Jay dies?
hopefully she will go
What if
for
the mom
adoption.
dies?
When I first practiced as a social worker in Queen's Elizabeth Hospital Adolescent Medical Center, I do have cases like girls coming, like teenage girls coming for consultation. But turn out the barrier is they can't abort in Hong Kong because they need the parents' signature and they don't want their parents to know. And that's so bad. Yeah, so they would choose other options like going to Shenzhen and all that, and that's not good. But I feel so sad about that, but I can't do anything as well. And the media always tells us wrong information. So there's a film called Juno in 2007 talking about a teenager girl who got pregnant. And after that, a lot of girls got pregnant because of this movie. Yeah, they thought that their boyfriends will stick with them if they get pregnant, which is totally wrong. Yeah. Yeah, so that is so bad. And we see that nowadays. This data is from the United States because in the United States they see the negative effects of teenage pregnancy which is a good sign. Yeah, it went down, teenage pregnancy. But it doesn't mean that people are more holy. It's just that they practice like protective sex. Yeah. Yeah. So that is definitely not the will of God as well. And do you think it's okay to have premarital sex? So some of you feel it's exclusive premarital. No, there are negative impacts. Some of you, a few of you say yes. And I hope after you study the Word of God, it will be clear to you. Assuming you have a loving girlfriend, boyfriend, if she asks you to have premarital sex, what will you do? You don't feel comfortable. Most of you refuse because you're not married. Oh, so some of you will also give in. Yeah. So I hope you will rethink about it. Yeah. Okay, so a lot of people, well, this is United States data. So Christianity Today is a group of Christian sociologists in the United States, and they do a lot of research. Yeah, so this is United States data. Wow, in United States, they're so liberal, you see. Yeah, a lot of teens are sexually active early on. So this poses a lot of challenges, especially nowadays. Actually, marriage age is getting later and later. Like Hong Kong is here, but this statistics is 2013, so probably now it's even later. Yeah. So Hong Kong is here for women. The average rate of getting married 29.6 and 31.5. Okay, so as Christians, it's very challenging, right? You get married so late, but you will face temptation and all that. So what shall we do? Yeah. And the intimacy letter, I will just talk about. The thing is, you need to go by intimacy. You should go by status. Yeah. So we just learned that sexual intercourse is exclusive for marriage, and that is the will of God. So the others, I'm not going into details. I think we don't do this exercise. Okay, so our last case study. Daniel, Marlon, and Colin. Can you read it out, please?
This,
Yes.
The case study. Yeah.
1034 has become cohabitating with the girlfriend of the police. Recently, the boyfriend only spending time in office with husband alone. He doesn't want to get back to the man, but he loves his girlfriend too uncomfortable and he has constantly. She doesn't trust him with stability. He instead loves to discuss about him. He also thinks that his girlfriend is a river. Because I'm not going to be afraid of the girl higher moment.
Okay, so Colin, Marlon, and Daniel, what do you think about the situation?
It's weird. Ken should abort. Ken should abort.
Her girlfriend about
Don't give it.
yeah, like about the marriage maybe. I don't. He's not ready yet because basically he's not ready.
He's not ready for marriage.
He's upset that his girlfriend is not giving him first the priority for his her part, and it's behind her family.
So Colin said, don't give in into getting married. You need, right, Colin?
Yeah.
And how about Marlon and Daniel? What do you think? How should Ken handle this? Yeah, tell her that he's not ready.
Explain why he's not ready.
Yeah, tell her why he's not ready. So they really need a good talk. Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, I think Marlon, this is good advice. They really need a good talk, really. And the problem with Ken, actually Ken is one of Christian's best friend, who is a non-Christian best friend. The bad thing about cohabitation is the two is already so intimate, physically so intimate, but sometimes mentally, psychologically, you're not there yet. Yeah. So Ken
is sort of, a lot of guys, they don't really talk about how they feel. So actually, Ken's girlfriend doesn't know that he's having all these feelings inside him. But Ken feels that his girlfriend is so strong-willed, it's so difficult to talk to her. But they really need a good talk about that. Yeah, Ken needs to be honest with his girlfriend. Yeah, no one should be pressured into getting married. Of course, Christian and I personally, we hope that they will get married eventually. They have been cohabitating so long, and actually they love each other, but they have issues to resolve. And of course, they're non-Christian, so well, we can't put our Christian standards to them. But that's the same. And researches on cohabitation is very revealing, so I will go to show you soon. Do you think couples in love should eventually get married? Yes, a lot of majority of you say yes. Some say no. Cohabitation is fine. Some say no. No one should be chained by marriage. Oh wow! So actually, no is more than yes. Wow. Okay. And do you think it's okay for couples to cohabitate without marriage? Okay, still most of you value commitment, but okay, majority of you thinks it's okay. So no strings attached. Okay, so now I need to show you some data on cohabitation. So I hopefully with worldly wisdom, yeah, will also help you to rethink besides the teaching of God. Yeah. Okay, so this is just to show you throughout time, much more people choose societal values change. Nowadays, a lot of people think that cohabitation is okay, it's very acceptable, it's same as marriage. A lot of people think this way. This is just to show you. But let's look into some interesting data on cohabitation. There's a lot of myths in that. It will save us from the pain of divorce. Actually, research says no. Because you're so involved in intimate relationships. And research tells us that cohabitation can't replace marriage, actually. Yeah, because it's unstable. So eventually you make it or break it. When you break, it also hurts a lot. Same as divorce. So it's a good stepping stone into marriage. I will show you data later, which there are negative impacts. Yeah, divorce rates are also high. Yeah, even if you get married afterwards. Yeah, and the reason why for this because you compare, and comparison is very disastrous. Like people who get into marriage immediately, they won't compare. Yeah, right. But if you have previous sexual experiences or living experiences, you will compare, and that will alter your expectation and all that. You need to know if you can live together. So these are some of the myths, and research tells us that rich and long-lasting relationships come from making a strong decision in commitment. And so some amazing research tells us that why arranged marriage works well. Yeah, the reason they work well is because of long-lasting decision and commitment. Yeah. And here you see the divorce rate for women and men. Couples do not live together before marrying are more likely to have long-lasting marriages. Yeah. So the divorce rate is sort of lower and all that. Yeah. So research tells us that yeah, and this is also a reason why. Because if you are not in a stable relationship, it's very difficult to make long-term decisions. Like in properties tax, this is a practical decision why cohabitation also doesn't work. Yeah. And there's lack of trust, lack of social support and family support because you don't really have a, how can I say, fun. Yeah, you're not really a wife or a husband and all that. Some other data, some interesting data is probability of cohabitation. So actually, we can see the reality is for Christians, it's still quite high compared with people who are not with no religious belief. And here is about dissolution of relationship. That means divorce rate. Yeah. Yeah. So for non-Christians, those are very high. This one is for those who cohabitate. It's still higher. It's still higher than those who are married. Yeah, just to show you some data. I think I will talk about this one. And okay, one of the solutions for the churches is try to support teens to get married a bit earlier. Yeah, if they're ready, the parents and the church can support them to marry early. Yeah, so nowadays in the United States, that's why I also have some Christian friends in the States. They get married right after undergraduate. Karis has a friend who is getting married too, so she told us in Glow that she's attending. If you girls remember that she's going to attend a wedding of a friend. Yeah, so that's a good thing too. Yeah, so you don't need to struggle to face all those struggles. So recently, a celebrity got married very young. I don't know if you know who is Brooklyn Beckham, son of David Beckham. So he got married at 22, and his younger brother is 19. Is also thinking about getting married, and for the Beckham family, of course they're celebrity. But one thing I do appreciate is David Beckham and his wife. They have a very strong marital relationship. Yeah, yeah. So maybe in Hong Kong it's a little bit difficult. I think parents won't support you to marry early. Chaco, how old are you? You're 15. Yeah. So like if you're like him, in 4 years' time, you can get married. Yeah. Yeah. And who got this? I think I will end here. So basically today we know a lot of principles. I will just show you the last bit of the data. I will show you next time because we will talk about this next time. But the general data, remember, so hopefully you remember this. This is the teaching from God. There's a lot of challenges indeed. We will admit that there's a lot of challenge, but hopefully we walk together. We face these challenges together. Yeah. And I believe God loves you so much, so God will intervene as well. Yeah. In the long run, what is your choice among the below options? Most of you are young, so but actually, a lot of you think that you will be a happy couple in a committed lifelong relationship. That's great. And some of you who are younger, I think, wants to be a happy single. And okay, probably a few of you also think that cohabitation is an option. And overall, how much knowledge do you have on the will of God in terms of dating? One of you feel that you know a lot. Most of you are here. Hopefully, this workshop is helpful for you to understand God's will on marriage and dating. Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of today's workshop.